Scott thought about doing that.
Oh,
One upside down.
shit.
City hole. Out of the gate, Wesley snipes to the point. Now Charles at 984 jumps over little Wesley. So does Charles, Scott Doherty now, Wesley. John Phelan up in there. Oh my goodness, our top three drivers on 31, Chuck, Wes, and John. Scott, Dutch, and Chad on 30s early on. 9-4 from Phelan. He takes the point now. It is.
I'm Chad. This is the Dorky and 40 RC channel. Come with me during a day of on-road racing with my X-Ray X1 2024. We made the ESC change this week. We made a few changes to the car, and I'm going to show you throughout each heat exactly what I did, so that way you can kind of have an expectation of what a day of on-road racing might mean for you. It was a very competitive day. I've been very happy with the results that I had and the changes that I made. Probably could have made a few more in the end, and I did shit the bed in the main, but it is what it is. So let's get right to it right now. So in the first qualifier, I noticed that the car was very tippy. It didn't seem to be planted as well, and that I probably need to make a little bit of a gear change. Going beforehand, I wanted to get all this stuff done, knocked out in practice, but I picked up one of the newer Hobbywing programming boxes and was playing with some settings, updating firmware, recalibrating, and doing all that stuff to make sure that the ESC was primed and ready to go. Was pretty happy with the results that we got during the first qualifier, but then we needed to make some changes. So after running the first heat, one of the big things I wanted to do was make a gear change. So I dropped in pinion, and that really was going to set us up for success later on. Also needed to do some work on the front end. So I wanted to lower the roll center and just kind of give everything a big alignment up front. So here in the picture, you can see the orange and silver shims, so the same size, 1mm shims underneath the arms. And what that did by adding those shims in there is that actually lowered my front roll center. I said the car was kind of tippy, and I could see it kind of lifting during the first heat. So adding these shims here enabled to just settle the whole front end of the car down a lot. Looking back, I probably wish I would have done these under the rear pivot point and pod ball as well, but I decided not to do that. Just kind of focused on racing and driving, but I think it could have cleaned up a little bit of issues I was having in a particular area of the track coming off the sweeper and towards the driver's stand. And anytime you play with that stuff, you really got to do an alignment on the front. So threw it on the setup station and adjusted my camber so that way I knew exactly where I was at, so that way we wouldn't have any issues and we were always going to be steering properly. And while you're inside there, it's always a good idea to just like lube up your kingpins and stuff. You can see that like I've got my lube and like all my oils and stuff, all my parts divided into like these nice simple containers that you can get off of Amazon just to keep everything super clean and organized. You don't want to be baffling around for stuff during a race day.
All right, early on, John Phelan leading us around. Scott in at number 2 spot, Charles, West, Dutch, Chadwick. Up next, race number 3, Stefan, Dante, and John Hurlbert coming up next. The leader, pretty green color out there. Andy Brooks knows that color. Quickest start through was a 9:57 from Doherty that time. But Phelan up front, a 9:24 with a 9. Holy Moses. But he's only got a 2/10 of a second lead over Doherty. Phelan and Doherty. Oh, you got one stuck over there. Be careful. Let's see what we got this time through. Cycling through. Wes was the quickest car 2 laps ago with a 9:61. 1. Now he's the slowest car with a 16.6.
So in Q2, the car definitely was way more planted, especially coming around that corner on to the back straightaway. I wasn't tipping and I was able to control it and not kind of knock against that curb a lot more. I was still having problems on the little straight that comes back towards the driver's stand. I really never got that sorted out, but it is what it is. But as you can see here, you know, the times, my hot lap went down below a 10 to a 9.9. We've got a 9.7, 9.6, 9.7, 9.2, 9.3. Obviously, there is a big separation with the two fastest guys, and hey, they earned it. They are awesome drivers. But we made progress in this, and that is all that counts. So going into the third qualifier where I ran my best times, what I did was I just went to the side tubes and I just didn't want to make a lot of crazy changes because I was happy with the way things were going, and it really just came down to my driving ability. So in order to kind of make things a little bit easier to drive and make the car roll around a little bit more, what we did was we just kind of went down on the side tube oil. So I think we went from like 30K down to like 15, cleaned that all up, made sure that like we went underneath the car, cleaned everything off the underneath side of the car to make sure that after that heat we could tell that we weren't scraping or anything wasn't very obvious. You're always going to have like just colors and scrapes and stuff on the bottom of your wings, just because you're going to hit curbs and roll over things. It's just the way they kind of are with these F1s. So they're not the best signal indicators of ride height or anything like that. You just kind of want to look back here at the back of the pod and make sure that you don't see a lot of like traction and tire gunk buildup and all that kind of stuff. So let's get on to the third qualifier and see how we did. So in the third qualifier, things were great. We actually ended up running our fastest times ever, a hot lap of a 9.76. We got our top 15 down to a 10.1. You know, we could see the consistency was coming up. Everything was just coming together. Was super happy with the way that everything was going. The car was just running good. Little mistakes here and there by me, that's just pretty much all it is. Driving, more familiar with the car, more familiar with the remote, that kind of stuff. It's really great to just have the F1 finally just running so confident. It's very confident, inspiring. I just need to work on a few things myself, and that is pretty much it.
5. All right.
Oh boy.
Oh. Wow.
So in the main, I really could never just kind of get into a rhythm. Me and a couple of the guys just kind of kept on getting into each other there at the beginning and just kind of throwing off my pace and everything else. And then of course you kind of got to get out of the way for all of the faster guys. And, you know, these guys are going so fast, you know, just, you know, a tenth or a couple tenths faster than you, but it really is like night and day. So, you know, you're trying to get out of their way in either opportune or inopportune times sometimes, and they're going to hit you or you're going to hit them, one or the other. So it just kind of makes things a little bad. And then, you know, I ended up like parking it into a spot and had to be marshaled, which shows you the durability of the cars and all that kind of stuff. But it is what it is. I still had an amazing time. It was a great day with the F1 car and all the changes that we made to it. The layout will be down hopefully for at least the next couple weeks, if not longer. So we are going to be able to hopefully even keep getting faster and figure out a way to tackle that short little straight, because we're losing at least a couple tenths right there. I have to really, really milk the throttle going around through there. And then of course we need to figure out a way to tighten up those turns, and most of it is right here and right here. So hopefully this was entertaining for you guys and you learned something from it. Feel free to hit me up if you have any questions. Peace.
That's one way to do it.
Oh, he failed us. Now let's Phelan catch up a little. Phelan, that green car in that 2 spot. So we got Wes and Chad. Those two are battling for position. You guys are screwing this all up, right? Number 4 and 5 cars out there. They're trying to battle, and the leaders working their way through traffic.
I'll let him by.
Yeah, it was nice. Hot lap so far at 9-1. That can't be right. From Dutch.
Oh,
Dutch,
he
you
might
got
have
the
mixed
board.
it up to 100%. No.
Something's not right there. That's a little questionable.
Jump the wall
You're
down
gonna run
there.
10-second lap times, and you're on the 9-1 out of nowhere.
Fine. That's fine.
Scott's leading 1.5 seconds over Phelan. West comes through at 9.7. That's his new hot lap. Dutch very questionable 9.1. Phelan at 9.3.
Nice, I take you.
9.8. But our leaderboard shows Scott, John, Dutch, West, Chad. Remember, we have 5 drivers and 3 stickers. You do the math. 145 left, race 3, 21.5 TC coming up next. The Captain across the team. A little bunker team off. Oh, man. Out there. I can't believe you got put Velcro on them, but they're not. Maybe Scott thought about doing it.
Oh,
One upside down.
shit.
City hole.
Just get that hole, baby.
110 left. Oh my God!
You
What was
went
that?
for it, Wes. I will not be moved.
It's like they're running PTO2 out there.
He's trying. Go on.
West and Dutch, that is for position number 3 and 4. That's the last person on the podium between you two.
Oh.
Wes has a $900 F1 compared to Dutch's $12 Tamiya.
$12.
Our leader trying to blow his way through.
Oh, come on, Scott. I'll give you room.
Come on, baby Jesus. Phelan now to the lead. What is wrong here?
Oh,
Oh, stuck it. Oh my God. Help us, baby Jesus. It's locked in there. Wow.
Go backwards instead of trying to pull it up through it. Anyway, I wrecked.
Keep going.
Jump down done. Touchdown. Stop already done. All drivers are finished.
you won.